that naya backward is the yan, and akon laan wa eftin laan, but much like a shinny I make what's ma'an. And word to all the jad heads I'm hard as a dagah with just one fade, it will feel like ko, level, sadah, each one with sound effects like nush, bach, wabah. But remember way back in the day, we came to Canada, saw snow and wanted to play. Hoy wouldn't let us because it was minus wow, eh? My name is Ahmed, Barashaw and accent. If you have any Shahman, I'd really love to have some. I'll be the first to say that my off is beyond so-so, but until the day I die, wa Somali so.
Welcome to Shah and Sheko on Integration TV, every Sunday where we come together to share good news and talk about all the great things happening and trending on Somali social media. Hey, the guy that you just saw, guess what, guys? He's an award-winning Somali Canadian poet. His name is Ahmed Knowmadic, and he's going to be joining us in a little bit. Today, we are live from this beautiful department store. It's Canada's first Islamic department store right here in Mississauga, just outside of Toronto, where you get to see the wonderful fashion, home decor, books for your kids, anything to do with lifestyle in terms of body wash, soaps, you name it, headscarves, hijabs. I'm just excited that there is actually a store that's catering to the lifestyle of Islamic lifestyle. So inshallah, join us right here in Moda today as we show you the beautiful things happening in the store. As I always say to everybody out there, whatever you pay attention to expands. Look at this. Last week we were talking about how powerful it is that we have people that are going to Harvard. And guess what? This week, 2 Somali students got accepted into, well, the first one is Munera Khalif. She's from Minnesota, and she's going to be having the choice to go to Harvard or 7 other Ivy League schools. How phenomenal is that? Another young man, he's coming from Hargeisa. Can you imagine that? All the way from Hargeisa to Harvard. Congratulations to Abdisamid Aden, who will be making the journey for a great education to the United States of America. Just imagine, what you pay attention to expands. So let's share more good news in our community and keep growing together. Welcome back to Integration TV's Shah and Sheko. Hey, we're so happy to have Ahmed Knowmadic join us now. He's an award-winning Somali Canadian poet. Can you imagine? Here he is, a young man thriving at the art that he loves, which is poetry. And he joins us from Edmonton. Not only is he working hard on his craft and perfecting it and traveling the world and experiencing great things, but he's a community rock star. He's one of the greatest, I guess, role models in the city of Edmonton, and he does so much in the community. And I'm happy that he's joining us to talk about his passion to make a difference and follow his dream and continue the tradition of our ancestors, which is the nation of poets. So Ahmed, welcome to Integrations Shah and Sheko. We're so happy to have such a talented, amazing young man right here in the wonderful country of Canada.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Tell me about your name, Ahmed Knowmadic.
I've always been trying to, it always goes back to my identity as a Somali. I've always considered myself a Wadani. I was uprooted from my country and I felt like I needed the nutrients. So I'd always go search for what identified. And then I can't run around with camels in the city. I'd look like a random refugee. But I am now herding words instead of animals. So I'm nomadic. It's knowledge-based nomad. And it's nomadic. And that's where it comes from, because Abo lives in Somali right now, and he's a gure. He's people that goes around with livestock, and he enjoys this. His nickname is Bahlo, which means the kingdom, the animal man who enjoys the wilderness. So I mixed all those together and came up with Ahmed Knowmadic.
That's amazing. So tell us about your journey to poetry. I mean, how did you land to become a poet? I mean, was something in your DNA? Do you have generations of poets in your family like all of us do?
You know, all of us Somalis are poets, right? I think we overstep the boundaries of poetry. We always think poetry is a structured form of literacy. But poetry can be anything you want. And I realized that even within our language, the way we speak, everything we say is metaphorical. Like even if you look at talking about divorce, when people say wafure, it's metaphorical. It's like we opened something up. Everything, the language is metaphorical.
Don't remind me about that word, okay?
Sorry about that. Let's look at, or even marka arare silo dhaha aga hada wax ka day. You know what I mean? It's so like metaphorical, like look for something on your feet. And I've always wanted to be involved in sending a message across. And I remember when I first came to Canada, I had to learn English as a third language because my family moved to Italy first. And so I didn't understand language, and people used to call me an FOB, which I realized later that I was actually fresh off the plane, so I was an FOP. I never came on a boat, right? The Europeans that came before us came on a boat. And so the more I empowered myself, the more I realized there's power in language. And so I went and did acting for a bit, stand-up comedy for a bit. Parents weren't very pleased about the comedy aspect, so I found myself very sad because I had no artistic avenue. And then I met my beautiful wife in university who took me to a poetry venue. I read there, I did really bad, which was a blessing because that let me know that I need to work towards something. You're not always talented, and it's the hard work that makes it. And here I am, alhamdulillah, 4 years later, my income is 100% poetry. I don't work for anybody. I am my own boss, alhamdulillah.
That is so phenomenal. So you're an entrepreneur using your gifts and your talents.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you very much. You know, people look at it, it's not, the thing is though, poetry is, it works like this. Any art is 95% business, 5%, no, I'd say 90% business, 5% psychology, and 5% actual art. There is a lot of business involved into what I do. I perform poetry, but I sit on the Edmonton Arts Council board. I run an organization called the Breath and Poetry Collective, which I helped co-found, which brings together about 50 to 60 poets every Tuesday at a venue. On our finals night, we bring about 400 to 500 people coming watching poetry.
You know what I love is the fact that you emphasize you have taken your gift and made it a livelihood for you and your family. And I think that's what I want to teach young people in our community, is that you can have a passion for things that you love, and you can turn that into a career that works and benefits your community. I mean, here you are, an entrepreneur and giving back to your community. You know, I got tired of all those guys that like to and you know? So thank you.
No, Abayo, it's like, I always look back at it, and there's one person that really revolutionized my life, which was my ESL teacher. And the way he taught me wasn't a teacher, he was a student. He was learning from me, but at the same time, he was empowering me. He told me, Ahmed, you're a great writer. Ahmed, you're an amazing reader. And so that really reinforced my beliefs. He wasn't teaching me according to the school structure. He invested in me as a human being, and I realized the power of change.
Yes, and teaching confidence and skills of like believing in yourself.
You know what I mean? Here I am years later. I have no direct communication with this individual, but they changed my life, and I realized I can do the same thing. Sometimes change isn't making somebody successful, it's providing them opportunities. Maybe they will provide somebody else an opportunity that makes them successful. So I look at it as a gain thing, because humans were symbiotic. We need each other. Nobody makes it anywhere. There's no such thing as independently made. We make ourselves, but we are comprised of everybody that surrounds us that contribute to our success. And I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people who have really supported me in the Somali community abroad, outside of Canada. The first person that ever brought me outside of Canada to perform was Ayan Musa, who lives in Seattle. May God bless her. Khadr Abdisalam in Minnesota, who really supported me. There's a girl named Sophia who's in Atlanta right now, who's extremely supportive. You have Halim Abdursaq Foundation in Phoenix, Arizona, who completely supported me. So there are pockets of people that have been through and through supporting me. Even Jama here in Edmonton, who's a radio host, supported me through and through.
Wow, that's amazing. So it does take a village.
Correct. Oh, it definitely does. Nobody makes it anywhere. I have this metaphor, I say, this proverb. An artist's soil is their community. If they're not growing, they're in the wrong field. And so there are many gardeners that have really helped me grow.
So at the end of this month, you are part of the Mayor's Celebration of the Arts in Edmonton, and you're up for an award. Tell us about that award.
The award is the Emergent Artist Award. One thing I really love about Edmonton is it's so well knit. Not necessarily the Somali community, but the arts community. If you're involved in making change in Edmonton, they support and reward you. I am in very good relations with the mayor. It's so cool. We follow each other on Twitter and on Instagram. You know, the community really supports us. And so the mayor has always been out there and supporting me. So this award isn't going, if I win it, it's not going to do anything for me, which the community hasn't already done. I've already won that award per se, because I'm successful, alhamdulillah. I do what I love. I wake up every day
That is
enjoying
a
my
success
life.
in itself, right?
You know, there is no Mondays and there's no, oh, it's Monday today. Every day is a Friday. Every day is a Saturday, alhamdulillah. So it's a
You know,
celebration.
people laugh at me when I ask them, what day of the week is it?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And so, alhamdulillah, you know what I mean? I get to travel. Like, I've traveled all across Canada and the United States. I've been to the UK. I'm going back to Europe and doing a Europe tour, inshallah, this year coming up. And come on, like, that's what I do. Like, I get paid to do what I love.
Amazing. And I'm so proud of you. And keep it up, Ahmed Knowmadic. And we're going to throw some more skills so we can learn some more poetry as Somalis, right? Not that we need to. We already have it in us, right?
Thank you. Thank you, very much. Aada u mahadsan tahay. Ilaahay khayra ku siiyo. Waa ku faraxsanahay waxaa suubinaysa dabaa markasta waa daawadaa Integration TV. Waxaana rabaa inaad dhalinyarada u sheego although luqada inuu dhib sometimes nagu yahay ina xataa dhib ugu yahay waa ku dadaalaa waddankaana ku koray laakiin meel kasta ku hadli karo ama dad kasta la hadli karo waa isku day inaan ku hadlo oo ogahay inuu jajab yahay laakiin dadaalka more important than sidaas ku ceebeynaysid. So luqadaada important waaye, dadkaada important waaye, ku dadaal Somalinimadaada.
Alhamdulillah. And I'm glad you had a chance to go back home to learn it and to speak it. Because as Canadians, we're so far away from Somalia sometimes that people think, how come you guys don't speak the language that well? I'm like, we live like thousands of miles away, you know, and most of us have never gone back home until probably in our 20s or 30s, some of us. So it's important that we learn our language, and the younger generation learns it also. So thank
Very
you.
true. 100% agreed.
Adi ata santay walal, okay?
Thank you for what you're doing. Like, honestly, you're a superstar. I'm amazed that I'm even here. So thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace. Ahmed Knowmadic. We've been speaking with Ahmed Knowmadic, award-winning poet who is not just Somali, Canadian. Hey, we are Canadian, right? But we are first, our home country, our first language, Somali. So Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us, and we really appreciate you coming on Integration Shah and Sheko. So Kop Shah mislabna hada. Oh, you have your chef. I don't even have a cup of tea. Can I have a cup of tea? Today I'm missing my chef.
Yeah. I've been drinking a month into tea.
Okay.
Put it this side.
Well, thanks for having Shah with us today on our Sunday Shah and Sheko Talk. We love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this week's Shah and Sheko. We look forward to you coming back next week for more good news and talk about positive trending things in Somali communities. Guess what, guys? Take charge right now. Subscribe to our channel because I want you to continue to have great conversation and Shah with me, okay? And also next week, we've tracked him down. We tracked him down. That's right. Hashtag Adan Studies, the controversial I would say researcher, he's going to join us next week as we talk about his side of the story, because I think it's important that we hear his version and what he wants to tell Somalis around the world. So join us next week as we continue the Adan Studies hashtag and meet the researcher behind the comments. I love it. We'll see you next week on Shah and Sheko. So continue the conversation, subscribe, no more dream killers. We got this.